Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the Southern Cottage. I'm Connie, and this is my June garden tour for 2022. I am in Texas in Zone 9, and fire ants, they're the bane of my existence. And there have been a lot of changes in my garden, and I am super excited to show you guys. So let's go take a look. Right now, this is my favorite view of the garden. This is my sunflower and zinnia bed, and it has shot up since my last tour. The mammoth, and even now that's in the middle. Y'all, those are the ones that are only supposed to get 5 or 6 feet. The ones in the back still haven't reached their full size. Those are the mammoth, 12 to 18 feet. But y'all, I knew it was going to cover this area. It is completely camouflaging the side of this building with green and all the different colors. They haven't even all bloomed yet, but look at my beautiful zinnias. Now, I told y'all when I planted this that it was not the ideal way to do it, and it definitely isn't. My zinnias are stretching out over the side. Look at the color on that one. It is absolutely gorgeous. And my sunflowers. So far I only have like 3 different colors. Is that on the same? No. I thought that was the same plant. I was like, that would have been weird. Look at how gorgeous. Y'all, I'm loving this. Now, I might try to help them stay upright a little bit better next time. But for right now, I'm okay with it. I'm going to go ahead and clip back some of these spent blooms on the zinnias to promote some more growth. Cherry tomatoes. These chocolate sprinkles are absolutely delicious, and they are gorgeous. Beautiful tomatoes. Now, this is one of the biggest changes. This is my greenhouse area. That is my ground cherry. I have moved some mineral tubs over here, these 3 and that one over there. And then those two. Those 2 came out of the side garden. They were not doing well over there. And these 3 are new. They are filled completely with mushroom compost, and I replanted squash and zucchini over here in all 3 of these and in that one over there, because the side garden is not doing well at all, guys. Look at the growth on my tomatoes. I'm not going to go through every single plant because there's no need, but they're doing fabulous over here. I spent about $50 on this area and my green, my first raised bed area to cover them with this mulch. I love red. Red's my color. This matches really well the cedar color on the stain and the rust and everything else. I'm loving this color over here, and this is going to make it way easier for me to keep this area clean and straight. Now, I need to clean out my greenhouse, so all of the junk that was over there is now sitting right here waiting to get situated and put up where it belongs. But we are going to enjoy the beauty of this area right here for right now and not fuss about that. I have yard-long beans in here, and I have some that are about ready to be harvested, but these beans in my area are aphid attractors, and the ants on there are they bring the aphids. So what I do before I harvest is I come and I spray them off really hard with water that gets rid of the ants off of there and some aphids, and then I go ahead and harvest and use them as usual. I planted some more climbers. I think these are contenders. These are pole beans because the ones on the outside area did not produce. They're not doing too well over there. This bed was a fair project of my son that didn't sell, but it's not putting on a lot of growth either. I may be transplanting these in other areas and maybe just seeding this with some flowers and see how that goes. This Black Prince, I've eaten one tomato off of it. It was okay, but it's not really thriving here. These tomatoes, guys, from the last one, from the last garden tour to this one, my goodness. Now, I have 2 plants over here that are doing absolutely nothing. This triple crop, this is it right here. It's doing nothing. The San Marzano, this is all San Marzano. I am going to have a ton of paste tomatoes. And then my Black Brandywine. Look at these gorgeous tomatoes. And it is shooting all the way over. And the Rutgers is going ahead and it's doing its thing too. It's putting on some more tomatoes. But this last one is the Giant Peak Belgium, and there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. I did go ahead and seed some bush beans here because I really would like to get a crop of green beans this year. I did the same over here with planting the bush beans, and then on my trellis, now I planted some more of the noodle beans, and they're grabbing hold of this tomato, which is not really a big deal. I'm trying to unwind it, guys. I didn't even notice this morning, and get it up on this trellis. So noodle beans here, and they will climb up and over, and I will have noodle beans hanging down here in no time. This, I believe, is zucchini, more noodle beans, bush beans, and this Rutgers tomato. I mean, guys, it's covered. And this, I think, is part of my black creme. I have had a couple of black creme tomatoes, y'all. Absolutely delicious. And I don't know if we saw over here, but look at all of those tomatoes. Those are the Rutgers. And let me sneak back here and watch for snakes. This is the back pasture, but look at the tomatoes hanging over the back. I'm going to have to do a lot of reaching to get to those. That is not my property, but I will be reaching around to grab my tomatoes. So this is the Brandywine right in there. And then this is the Giant Pink, Garden Leader Monster. These are not monster tomatoes, guys. They're little. They're tasty, but they're little. And my this is my Cherokee Purple right here. Right there. I've reseeded some bush beans here. Of course, this is my okra from over there. I'll talk a little bit more about this when I get over there, but y'all, I think this soil... Technical difficulties. First world problems. In the south, my phone overheated, so I had to take it inside to cool off. So we're going to stick to the shade for right now. This is my shade garden. It gets dappled sun. At first I thought it was going to be completely full shade, but it gets dappled sun. And y'all, my caladiums are doing so well. They are filling in so well. The begonias, not so much. I'm thinking I might be giving them a little bit too much water. I don't know. I might have to tweak it a little bit. But the begonias, not the begonias, the caladiums are doing fantastic. They are filling in. I'm super happy with this bed. I have a fern hiding back there that I got for my birthday. The coleus are doing really well. That is a volunteer comfrey, and that is a forsythia right in the back in the middle. In the back in the middle. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My snake plants are doing well. The caladiums are what I'm most impressed with. I think I'm going to get some more of these for next year. Y'all, I forget what these are called. Heucheras. they are not, they're not getting very much bigger. I don't know. My pots, you can tell that this one right over here, where's my finger? This one over here is doing much better, and I don't understand why, because the soil that is in there, and that's what I was talking about before my phone overheated. The soil in that I mixed in with some of this stuff, I don't think it was contaminated. It's just like sludge, y'all. Sludge. And this pot, I have a dripper to it, and it fills up with water, and I have to dump it out every time I water. So every day I dump that thing out. I think that soil, along with the lack of consistent sun, y'all excuse the mess over here. My husband and my son are avid deer hunters, and he's been working on his deer feeders over here. But you can see it is, let me see what time it is. It's 11 o'clock. Half of this is in sun and half of it is in shade. Most of the stuff I have growing is actually in the shade. So it's not growing that well. Nothing's growing out here that well except for the grass. I do have one cucumber though, and a couple more volunteer ground cherries. Y'all, this area has just been not what I wanted. So we are actually going to move all of our trailers over here. I've got not one squash, not one zucchini, hence the reason why I replanted all of those. I've gotten a lot of flowers and some female flowers, and they have put on some fruit, but the fruit never matures. It just falls off. Anyway, we're going to move all of our trailers over here and move some of these buckets over to the other side of my catering kitchen to see if we can get some better luck over there for next year. Now, my corn. It's already tasseling, and it's putting on some ears. Sorry about that. But I don't know really what I'm going to get from it. My cherry tomatoes, these are my sweetie cherries. They are not growing as vigorously because they do not have enough sun. And let me see if I can show you. Oh, hey, I have one green bean. This soil is just like sludge. The farther I filled it up with the garden soil earlier, before, and then I topped it with mushroom compost, and it's just not, it's not good. I do have a few cherry tomatoes over here, but oh, there's a full-size tomato coming on. Let me see which one this one is. I am hoping this is the giant pink Belgium. That's the Rutgers. Let me look and see. That is the giant pink Belgium, and that is a Brandywine. There's a tomato on that one. There's a tomato on the San Marzano. And there are a few cherry tomatoes over here. This is a Garden Leader Monster. There are no tomatoes on that one. I pulled up my eggplants and transplanted them in my raised bed garden next to my catering kitchen because they were doing nothing, and I just wanted some eggplant. Yesterday, I noticed that some of my noodle beans were actually producing. So I'm going to leave these be. I'm going to continue to water over here for as long as I have anything in here. And then we will see what's going on. We will see what we can get. I mean, it's not a total loss. Cucumber, just one. These are zucchini, and they have produced absolutely nothing. Back inside, we finished running the water, and I actually do have drip and sprayers to all of these beds. My grass is pretty and green. I think I have the greenest grass, you know, in the area, because I get shade a lot in this front area and I keep it watered. My sprayers are rotators and they come out about 6 feet, and then I put water sprinklers outside. I have pots all along this front fence line, on the fence line, and I just planted those for the first time in a couple of years with what are those? I'm looking right at them and I don't remember. I'll tell you in a minute. They're not the caladiums. Coleus. Seeded them with coleus. So this is my part sun, part shade bed. I lost a couple of things, and a couple of things are thriving. I am waiting for my yesterday and today and tomorrow plant to actually bloom. It did not bloom at all last year, but it is putting off some runners because I have some stuff coming up away from the actual initial plant. My moonflowers are starting to climb. Those put off gorgeous, gorgeous blooms. And I save my pods every year so I don't have to buy them again. I cut back all the tops of the bulbs in these planters and I seeded marigolds, and those are cypress vine. They're pink and white and red, I believe. That plant, airplane plant, I believe. The bottoms of my rose bushes, the leaves are off of those, and it might be from the spray. I'm not sure. And I do actually have a caladium popping up right in the middle of there. Y'all, I moved dirt around. It is what it is. All right, we're back in the sun now. And if you'll notice, I have come back. I wanted to mulch, but instead of using mulch, I used compost. So I got 1 yard of mushroom compost, and that covered all of my beds and filled some planters. My dahlias are looking a little worse for wear. This, y'all, I've already forgotten what that is, but I only had 1, or so I thought. There are a couple more over here. I'm trying to keep my shadow out of here. I cut back my thyme plant, and it is looking very, very good. The dahlias, y'all, some of them I planted later than others, and they are those are doing okay. The other ones not so much. Purple basil's not doing very well, but the green basil is, and I believe that's another one of those. Y'all, I cannot remember what it's called. Anyway, sunflowers, these are volunteers and they are loving life. So these are the gazanias that I showed you in the last tour. They have been blooming. I'll try to get you a better picture of what they look like, but they're just, I love the foliage on them. Absolutely love it. And my purple Ipomoea is starting to trail. I pulled everything out of these other 2 planters, and I took some cuttings of my Supertunia Vista bubblegum, and a few of them did take, and they are doing really well. And then I planted some little Thumbelina zinnias. That's about as tall as they are going to get, and they should start blooming here soon. Same thing over here, and you're not really able to see it too well, but they're doing okay. Y'all ignore the mess on my porch. Back over here, I pulled everything out of this bed, rearranged the rock a little bit, and I just set that blackberry back in there in the pot until I could figure out what I wanted to plant there and where to put the blackberry. Now, this view is awesome. It's not perfect, but I love it. So the eggplant from the side garden I transplanted here, and I actually have my first blossom. Super excited about that. My peppers over here are doing well. The cucumbers are actually still producing, and they're not bitter yet, guys. We've gotten over 100 degrees, and they are not bitter. These, I believe, are Market More, and there might be a bee's nest in there. These are the Armenian white cucumbers, and I have yet... Oh, is that one? Oh my, okay. Ha! There's one right there, guys. I've sat here and said that I have yet to get one cucumber, but there is one. Y'all, I was about to pull it out. Have patience, guys, have patience. My sweet basil over here is doing really well. I need to top it again. I've done it a couple of times since I showed you how to propagate and top basil. The purple basil is doing great. My lime basils, not so much. They're pretty, and I'm leaving them alone for the pollinators. They are loving them. So we're going to leave them be, and I still can walk by and run my hand over them and get that basil smell. This blue basil is absolutely gorgeous. The tomatoes over here, this San Marzano is, y'all, it's a goner. The Jubilee right next to it, I have quite a few tomatoes on that one. This next one is, what is it? Giant Pink Belgium. Y'all, I'm not having any luck with that. There's not one tomato on there. Let me move this out of the way. Black Brandywine, nothing to show for that one. The triple crop on the end is not doing anything. But the Garden Leader Monster is still not putting on monster tomatoes. But, you know, fruit is fruit. Now, I was really upset with my tomatillo. And I didn't know what was going on. I thought it might have had a virus. But then I look, I have my drip on. Do you see the way that the soil is pulling away from that bucket? That soil is dry. I have a 2-gallon-per-hour dripper on this plant. And while I had my drip running, I looked and there was no water coming out. So I have an irrigation issue. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to pull them out or not. We will see. These volunteer ground cherries, y'all, have to tell you, my grandbaby gets tomatoes and potatoes mixed up. So these are yellow potatoes. She calls them yellow potatoes. So I save all of the yellow potatoes for Sophie. My tame jalapenos are doing well. The Anaheims, y'all, I thought that it was going to be different than what it is. I'm about to pull that so I can get some more off of here so I can figure out what to do with them. My cherry tomatoes are not doing very well at all. They're getting pretty tall, and there's a lot on here. This is the blue goldberry. There's a lot on there. I haven't really been able to harvest a lot of cherry tomatoes. The yellow pear is disappointing. I don't see any tomatoes on there at the moment. Well, there's a couple of green ones. But it's just not doing so well. The other two are putting on some more growth at the top. We will see what happens with those. What else? There's a banana pepper in here. I might pull out one of these because, y'all, it's lush and it's beautiful, but there's too much going on in here. I might have to pull out one of these basil plants. Caterpillars have been getting on my the ground cherry leaves. Here's the new leaves. They're doing fine. They have a lot of pods on them, so I'm not going to get too worried about that. I don't like spraying stuff, especially since I give them to my grandbaby straight out of the garden. So I'm not spraying anything on these. That basil, y'all. And then I have another tame house. Oh, there's a big old piece of grass I missed. And this is my other, what is that? Tomatillo. Yeah, since the other one is not thriving, it's not producing a lot of flowers or not a lot of cross-pollination. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm seriously thinking about digging these out And taking my peppers from the back bed that's not doing so well and transplanting them up here, fixing the irrigation, because I don't have any bell pepper plants that are doing what they need to do. But these cucumbers, I'm just surprised. It's hot, y'all. When it gets hot, cucumbers do not like it, except for these Armenian whites. And y'all don't even know how excited I am for that right there. I know I just showed it to you, but still. Super, super excited about that. One area I forgot to show you is right in front of my storage building. It used to have a deck that came off the front. It was not in good shape, so we cut it off at the front of the building. And I put a couple of metal planters here. And I just sowed some marigolds in here. Hadn't had any marigolds in my garden. So I sold some. I think I have some Eskimos in here and another orange one. And I did plant some nasturtiums. It might be too hot for those to come up. And last but very not least, my Supertunia Vistas and the bubblegum and my Supertunia Royal Velvet. They are doing fabulously. I think I'm going to take some more cuttings. I might need to cut these completely back so they can flesh out new growth. The lemon coral sedum are doing really well. Everything is trailing. I am loving it. Look how gorgeous. Okay, we're going to finish up where we started. I've already pulled out all of my stuff for my next project, which I'm hoping is going to be a fairy garden. While my phone went back inside to cool off. So we're going to make this quick, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so happy with the way most of my garden is going right now. I've had some fails. Don't worry about it, y'all. That's why I plant so much. I plant so much because I'm afraid I'm not going to get anything. In some years I get way too much. In some years I only get a couple of the plants to produce. But that's gardening, y'all. It's a gamble. You plant it and you pray. I am getting harvest off of my stuff. Even the stuff that's not doing so well, I'm getting stuff off of it. And some of the things, I'm moving them to new places. You just do what you got to do. Move stuff around. Plants are pretty resilient about being moved. Most plants are. And I see a lot of canning in my future. So y'all give me a thumbs up. That helps my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. I have a lot more stuff to come. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.